Hello, it's T, guide and harmonizer for parents of adolescents, and I'm excited to be here with you for tip number 94 from Aletha Solter's book, Raising Drug-Free Kids. And I'm just going to remind everyone that I am having a group program, brand new group program. It's starting on Friday. It's called Relate to Your Teen, and it is for any parent of a tween, teen, or early 20 something who is struggling and stuck and really ready to do something different so that they can have a closer connection and more harmony in their house. So that's just a little reminder, and there's a few things we're going to talk about today that we are going to dive in deeper in that program. So last time we talked about tip number 93, avoid 5 major mistakes if your child has tried drugs or if you suspect that they have. And today, 94, is confront your teen lovingly if you suspect occasional drug use. Now, I love the way that Aletha worded that, if you suspect occasional drug use, but really, if you suspect drug use, before you have a conversation, you're not really sure how frequent that it is. So, number 1 is that you absolutely need to bring this up and discuss it. And yesterday we talked about in the parenting pendulum, right? That some of us at some times are tempted to just sort of ignore things. Well, it could have been something else. It could have been they're holding it for their friend or what have you, and just ignore the issue. That is an abdication of your responsibility and your leadership as a parent. It is important that you bring it up to your child. You're going to want to bring it up when you are relaxed. You're both in a relaxed state. You're both comfortable. And I know that a lot of people have said, I love talking to my teen when they're in the car with me because they can't go anywhere. They can't run away from me. They can't go down the hall or upstairs and shut their door and just leave. And I get that, and I have used it that way, but not for this conversation. You do not want your child to feel trapped like a mouse in a cage. That will not be a good thing. That will backfire on you. So that's just a little tip there. You don't want to do it in the car. What you want to do is be in a very relaxed state and bring up your observations, just very factual with your observations and any concerns that you happen to have. And then a question to them. Now, if you have a great relationship with your child and your energy is very open and they're feeling that, chances are, now not 100%, but chances are they will be honest with you, and they might even experience some relief from your bringing it up. And then from there, you can go and explore what their motivation is. And, maybe they tried it and they hated it, or maybe they were getting ready to try it, but they weren't sure, or maybe they've tried it several times. But from there, you can explore. Now, if your relationship with your teen is strained as a rule right now, or you are coming to this conversation in a very constricted, contracted energy, like where you think, okay, I'm relaxed, I'm not saying anything, that's going to be really belligerent or divisive, and, I want to get this done. You're coming with an energy that doesn't feel really welcoming of this conversation to them. Chances are that the outcome will be different. It will be, maybe they will deny. Maybe they will storm away and be like, I don't have time for you, and maybe expletive, right? Maybe they'll get angry. So again, it all depends, but chances are, if either of those things are true, the strained relationship or the contracted energy, it's more likely that they will not have a great response. And in those cases, here's what I know, is if you like try to lasso them back, we're going to have this conversation, and who do you think you are? You shouldn't walk away from me. Going to backfire. It's like you're digging yourself a deeper hole. So better to like sort of like that was round one, right? Round one, ding, ding, fine. It's a standoff. Do what you need to do to get settled, to regroup, okay? Talk to someone who can help you just by witnessing you, right? They don't even have to tell you what to do, but just or maybe it's your journal, okay? To get yourself into a more relaxed, centered place. And you're going to need to come back for, and now I hate to say round two, because that sounds like you're spoiling for a fight, but you're going to need to bring this up again. And you can take an opportunity to say, hey, listen, I thought I was pretty relaxed, but I was still really worked up. This is a really difficult subject for me, so I apologize. Let me try again. Let me tell you, I just have these concerns. I really would like to talk about this with you. Have you tried any drugs? Or whatever the words are, but come with a different energy and acknowledge that you maybe were not really ready to have that more open conversation with them the first time. It's really, really important, no matter how many times it takes, it's important that you do not give up, because that pendulum, right? Like we go to control, like you get back here. And then it swings all the way the other way. Like, well, I did my best. I did my best for 16 years, and now this is what's happening, and I'm washing my hands of this. No, you're not washing your hands of this. Okay, you are a vitally, vitally important figure in your child's life. You can regroup. You can calm that part of you, and you can regroup. You might not be able to do it alone. Who can do something like this alone? Not me, no one, okay? So make sure that you have a support team around you. And again, not necessarily people who will tell you what to do, but people who will help you and guide you and ask you questions so that you can come to, okay, here's an option, this feels the best. Based on my first 2 tries talking to my kid, here's what feels the best. So seek support. Okay, these are good. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. The last thing I think that I want to share is that teens who are addicted to a substance will often, not always, but often lie about their use of that substance. Now, it may not be lying with malicious intent, right? Like, I can't let anybody know. They might also be lying to themselves. They might actually believe what they're saying, but it's just important for us to know that if there's like a disconnect between what they're saying and just like something inside of us, some knowing, that could be what is underneath of it. It could be that they are in a situation that they don't know, they really don't know how to control, but they're pretending like they can. They're even kidding themselves, and saying it out loud and speaking it out loud is part of that. So this is a Aletha in the book said addicted teens often lie, and this is what's behind that, okay? So even if you're reading the book, you know, please understand that that could be what's behind it. There are plenty of us who grew up in earlier decades. I'm not going to date myself. In earlier decades who, you know, don't you lie to me, and we make it really, really wrong. We make it such a big deal, the lie. And it means something different to us than it does to them. So please don't let that be the tripwire that you fall over. If they are saying something that is a disconnect for you, there can be other reasons, and it's okay. You didn't raise a liar. You are just right now parenting a child who maybe in over their head, maybe disconnected from their abilities, and maybe trying to convince themselves that everything is fine, and they really need you. So, okay, that wraps up this tip. The next tip will also wrap up the chapter for us on 12 to 18-year-olds. So I look forward to being here with you next time for tip number 95. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye for now.